Hello, this is Robert Hollis. I hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you so much for tuning into my Periscope today. Fear. I'm scared. All right. So anyway, thank you for the hearts. Go ahead and type your name and where you're from so I can share with you. Thank you very much, Corky and Supers Dude, for already sharing with your Twitter and your followers. Lori and Billings, again, I got halfway through the audios. I can't wait to share it with the world. Thank you so much. I love you. Art Boyle from Seattle, Jeanette from Australia, Amy from Atlanta, Dee Dee from Toronto, Mikkel, hey man, Mikkel, Nancy from South Dakota, Suzanne is here. Jeanette, thank you for sharing with your Twitters. You can scroll up. The Bigners from Louisiana, Bill Clark from Arkansas. Hello from, it's going Virgin Islands, Australia. Carrie, hi Carrie again. John from Australia, Dennis from Boston, Maryland, Terry from home. Thanks, hon, for getting on. I appreciate you. Pat from Oregon, Curtis from Naples, Florida, from Morocco. Great. So scroll up and scroll sideways. Just slide on your screen. You can share it with your followers. You can see how Nancy Webb did that. Thank you very much. Ask me anything. I love doing those too. Wow, look at all the people coming on. Share it with your followers, your Twitter followers, your Facebook followers. Also to hearts. Give them a hearts. Yay! Thank you very much. Tapping on that screen. I really appreciate it. Kevin Dog from Maryland. What's up, my income? That's what's up. Hey, Melody. I appreciate it. Mike from Dallas. Corky, thank you again for sharing with your Facebook people. I really, really appreciate that. Hi from England. Who's saying hi? That's T-I-C-Y. Mama Bear 4, thanks for sharing. Awesome. Robert Colin from Atlanta. Atlanta, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is going to be a great, great Periscope. I've been having a blast at it, so I will share with you in a minute some of the cool things. Tiggy. So Tiggy from England. Thank you very much. Junior here. Hello, my son. I love you. Thanks for getting on. Quest for your empire. Hello, how are you? Thank you for sharing. Wow, look at all the shares. Thank you so much. Sharing Twitter, Facebook. Thank you. Everything. Thank you. And thanks for the hearts. Thank you. Love the residual. I love residual, man. Residual and leverage. I mean, if you're not doing it, you got to figure out how to do it. It's like, that's how you live. Hello from Australia, Shirley. It was so great talking to you on the Ask Me Anything. What are you afraid? I'm going to share with you. I'm just afraid of being successful. I don't know. Now it's basically me dealing with stuff, but also you dealing with stuff. So, excellent. So we're 3 minutes in, so we'll go ahead and get the Periscope started. Okay, so here we go. Hello, my name is Robert Hollis. I want to thank you very much for tuning in to the Periscope. Thank you so much for not only typing in the name and where you're coming from, but also sharing it, with your Twitter followers, your Facebook followers, and your followers. My name again is Robert Hollis, and I used to be an auto mechanic. And got hurt, got put on workman's comp, and met an incredible couple of mentors that are worth millions and now billions of dollars. And they were able to show me how to do some pretty incredible things. So never have to worry about money again. Help 46 people make over $1 million a year. Tens of thousands of people. Never, ever have to work for anybody again. And so what this Periscope is all about is you now can check out the other ones I have on lifemechanic.com. lifemechanic.com. You can click on blog, and also you can click on Ask Me Anything. I'm now split up the times so I can do them for the people in England. So that's pretty cool. So just go to Ask Me Anything, click on it. You'll see when the shows are there. And then also you can click on the YouTube, and you can actually see the ones that are already recorded. So that's pretty cool. Hello, Mr. Ebert. Yay, yay. Okay. So anyway, this one is about fear. I'm scared, okay? Now, one of the things that a lot of people get involved in any kind of thing is we always deal with this fear. A lot of you have heard acronyms about it. False evidence appearing real. I like saying false emotions appearing real. and so there's a lot of things that we get into where it's just incredible how powerful our mind is. And normally what I'm doing is I'm always talking, constantly talking about thoughts or things. What comes out of our mouth is what our ears hear. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you sometimes hear twice as much as you talk. And so when we talk and we say stuff out loud, our mind hears it. Our subconscious hears it. Our conscious hears it. So if you're like, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, that is an affirmation. For those of you that are emotional and you get an anxiety and you're worried and you get that upset feeling and you're scared, and guess what? This paralyzes you. Flat out paralyzes you. To think that through my entire life, when I first thought of speaking in front of a group of people, wow, the anxiety that I went through, the panic attacks that I was having, my hands were sweating. And it was funny because I was all prepared. I was in front of the meeting. I stood in front of the mirror, like my mentor told me, and over and over and over and over and over, I practiced. I was right on the money. You would not believe how good I had this presentation down. And it came to the point, and then this guy named Peter got up. He did an incredible introduction to me. And then what I did is I got up in front of the room and I froze. I 100% froze. I stood there. I didn't know what to say. My mind wasn't thinking. And then all of a sudden, I just said straight out. I just said, I want to introduce Peter Wilson. I introduced the gentleman that introduced me and didn't do none of the presentation. The first time that I went out to speak to people, back then, no cell phones, no internet. And I knew that if I could work as hard on me and work as hard for me as I have for somebody else, that I was going to figure this out. I got up early. I took a shower just like I would go to work. I went out around a bunch of people. Again, thank you for the hearts. I really appreciate it. And I spent 8 hours, listen to me, 8 hours on the streets of downtown LA around the First Interstate building. And guess how many names and phone numbers I got my very first day? 8 hours. 0. I was just every time I thought about, saying something to someone and just, I'd say the wrong thing. And what if they ask me questions? And, so I went out the second day. I was going to beat this. I was going to go through the fear and beat this. The next day I went out and I gave away a card. I still didn't get any names or numbers. So I'm sharing this with each and every one of you is everyone I know deals with fears. Everyone I know deals with fear. And for people to say that they don't have fear, I can guarantee you I'll put you in a couple of situations where I'll get you to lock up in a hurry. It might be jumping out of an airplane. It might be jumping off a bungee jump. It'll be something, but I can guarantee you, we're all scared. We're all have fear. And if it's either one thing or another. So, some of us have fear of money. Some of us have fear of being successful. Some of us have fear. I like that. I'm scared of everything. Yeah. It's like we are just human beings. And see, the first thing I think that each and every one of you need to do is you got to really get across, Corky, thank you very much. I'm going to make sure I post that below here too. But we got to make sure that you're not weird. There's nothing wrong with you for being scared. There's nothing wrong with you for having fear. There's nothing wrong for you worrying. It's okay to be human. Is that okay for you? Can I get an amen? Can I get hearts? You're not weird. You're not the only scared person on the planet. You're not the only person that is so scared that they lack action. See, a lot of us don't do what we know we need to do, and it's because we got to get over this fear. Now, what I want to do is I want to share a couple of techniques with you that have worked for me. Now, this may or may not work for you. I understand that there's 16 different personalities. You can check out 16personalities.com. And I do know that other people have to deal differently with the way that they're scared, right? I just got to push myself through it. Most of the people that I see that really struggle with fear is they think things that are not going to happen, worrying. And for those of you, don't get mad at me for sort of preaching sometimes, but I heard this phrase one time and it's powerful. Worry is meditating on the lies of the adversary. Okay? So we got, you guys remember the old movies, and some of you probably don't, but, it's like you got the angel on one shoulder and you got the devil on the other, and they're both talking back and forth into your ears. And so it's like, yeah, you can. Yes, you can. No, you can. Go for the kiss. Don't kiss. No kiss. And it's like everything that we're going through, ask her out, ask her for the dance. No, yes, no, yes, no, yes. And it's like, we all deal with that, right? And so the whole thing is you want to think, and this works for me, is you want to think of the what if thing. There's always this deal that what if. And we all live in this what if place, you know what I mean? So we're like, well, what if? So people would say, well, what if people ask me questions? And I love playing with people and saying, well, what if we get hit by a meteorite and we all die? And it's like, well, come on, that's stupid. It's like, it's no stupider than yours. You know what I mean? So what if they ask me questions? And what if they tell me no? And what if they? And so you just want to play that what if game with yourself. Play that what if game with yourself. And here's what I suggest. I make it so outlandish that it makes me laugh. So if you guys have heard me do this before, people will turn around and say to me, well, what's the worst thing that can happen? So you're piquing somebody's interest on Facebook. And you're sending them they're doing a deal, and you're congratulating somebody, or you're saying great comment or whatever, and then they come back and they go, I can't believe you did that. You go, what are you talking about? And it's like, so the next thing you know, you hear a knock on your door and you go to answer the door and there's that person and they pull out a gun and they shoot you. And so I'm politically correct. You know what I mean? Because I know a bunch of people are freaking out because of gun control. They pull out a bow and arrow. And they shoot you in the neck with the arrow. No, I'm joking. So people are going, whoa, I'm seeing the different part of Robert here. That's funny, right? All right. So anyway, they kill you. And when I do this with anyone, and I did it on a hangout, for those of you not to get off track here, but I do a Google hangout called Ask Me Anything. You can go to lifemechanic.com, click on the Ask Me Anything, and I have people come on there from everywhere, every industry, asking me all kinds of things, and I'm just having a blast. So, we're doing them now Eastern Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're doing them at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, and then it's 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock, thank you very much, 2 o'clock, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, okay? Eastern Standard Time. So figure out your numbers and there and how to do it. So we had a great group on there today. Carrie Bradford was on there, and Vinny and Gail, a new person. Shirley is on there. Had some great people on there. So it was a blast. And so anyway, my whole thing is to help you get past this, right? And so when I did this recently, I did this with a guy named Jason, right? And when I said it to Jason, everybody laughed. It's always funny when you tell somebody, hey, listen, you know what? Thanks, Vinny. And you see someone on there and you go, hey, listen, you know what? And then you die. And as soon as you do that, everybody starts laughing. And I go, I just gave you a scenario about dying and everybody laughed. Why did everybody laugh? Well, they laughed because that's not going to happen. So I want each and every one of you to really seriously think, what is the worst thing that's going to happen? If it's a little bigger than you're thinking, like, maybe like I seen, Corky post the code to joy. If you're thinking it's a little bigger, like, wow, I'm scared of what success will do to me, or I'm scared of what a whole bunch of money would do for me. So you got to start thinking about stuff like that, because if it's way out there, if you really think that you're going to change for the worse because of you're going to be successful, then those are things you got to deal with. But it's still in a what if world. I tell people all the time, the uniqueness about making money, The uniqueness about building a very large, loyal, satisfied customer base. The uniqueness of building a large group of people that are supplementing their income, which based on leverage and residual can put you in mid six figures to $1 million a year. The really cool thing about that and the uniqueness of being an entrepreneur is if it changes you for the worst, sell your business and give the money to charity. So don't make that an excuse. Be the kind of person that if someone says, well, you should be an entrepreneur. Yeah, I did that. I put my head down. I learned from other multi-millionaires like Bill Ebert, and I worked with Robert Hollis, and I got it figured out, and I made millions of dollars. I didn't like the money. I didn't like the freedom. I didn't like the traveling. I didn't like giving money to charity. So I sold it all, and I went back and got a job. So, each and every one of you, that's what's unique about this profession, right? And so one of the things you got to think about is go after the thing that you are scared of the most. See, if you wrote a list of all the things that you're scared of, find out in being an entrepreneur what you're scared of the most. Because if you can find a way to do little baby steps to knock that down, just knock it down. Just go through it, do a little bit at a time, and knock that down. Then guess what? Now the rest of your fears are nothing because you took the big one down. So if you see at a lot of seminars, like a Tony Robbins seminar, they'll have you walk on coals, you know what I mean? 2,000 or 3,000 degrees coals, which I like to bring up a funny joke here because I think a lot of you that have children will really love this. I seen on Facebook one time a picture, and it was 4 boards that were put together, and the whole entire thing was filled with Legos. And it said, you think the fire walk is bad? Step on a Lego. Try to walk through Legos. That's challenging. So I hope each and every one of you think that's pretty funny because I just looking at that like, yeah, we'll do the Lego walk, right? But the whole point is that, some of these companies I've seen where you actually climb up, if you go to these camps, you can climb up a telephone pole and then you got to stand on top of the telephone pole. And so whether you got fears of snakes, fears of spiders, fears of heights, fears of speaking to people, fears of rejection, what you want to do is you want to figure out how to get past them. Now, another thing I want to get each and every one of you is I'll put a link on the bottom of this, and I looked on the internet. It used to be there on YouTube, but it's called the Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It's by Susan Jeffers. She's a PhD. And it's just how to turn fear and indecision into confidence and action. Now, I remember someone giving me that years ago, and I haven't been through it in a long, long time. I should take the time to go through it again. But I know that it meant so much to me at the time. It meant so much to me at the time that I saved it. I put it online. And I'll make sure that you guys got the audios and stuff to that. That will be underneath here. So I don't know how many people have used that program or heard of that program and gotten any results out of it. But it's incredible. Okay. Now I want to cover one other thing, and then we'll finish this fear thing off. Is one of the other things that I want you to really think about is when you're dealing with fear, you know what I mean? And you wonder what's holding you back. It's always this unknown. And if you realize a lot of unknown, like we didn't get a manual on how to be a human being. So you were born, you didn't get an owner's manual. You know what I mean? You get, there's not an owner's manual on dating. There's not an owner's manual on getting married. There's not an owner's manual on having children and what to do with them once they're born. A lot of things that we have in our life are unknown. And it's amazing, from learning how to ride a bike to learning how to drive a car. Again, one of the ones I had a Periscope. You can go to lifemechanic.com and look at the programs that we have on there, also free on the blog, but also the purchased ones. Is if you go through some of those, you're going to understand that, a lot of the things that are unknown, that we're worried and scared that we won't perform good on, we usually end up doing very well. So I talked on that Periscope about being a winner. And again, if you would just give yourself credit for you not knowing you didn't know that you didn't know. And then you start stepping into this realm and you start learning how to do things and you turn out to be pretty good at it. You know what I mean? Because we all as human beings don't hold people to such a high standard and expectations because we know we're human beings. You see what I mean? So all this thoughts and stuff that are flying around in our head, and the way that you can get past them is you got to build. It's like Tony Robbins has this neat thing where virtually everything that we do in life is either we're going for pleasure or we're avoiding pain. And see, what we do is we mess up in our minds that calling someone we don't know, chatting to someone we don't know, talking to someone on the street that we don't know, all the stuff that we need to do to talk to people to ask for a personal favor is, see, we all put that in the pain category. Humility, being made fun of. I've seen someone put on here shy. So we're always avoiding pain. Well, here's the thing that you need to switch, is if you imagine, again, God gave us imagination, right? If you can imagine your life, let's draw a number, 10 grand a month. If you can imagine your life making $10,000 a month and what you would do with that first 10,000, what you would do with the second 10,000, what you would do with the third 10,000. So some people are like, let's take baby steps. Some people say, well, let's get out of debt. You know, then debt free. Then what? Your car's paid for. Then what? Your home's paid for. Then you start putting money in savings. How much could you have in savings before you felt comfortable? Depending on men versus women, it's usually anywhere between 3 months and 6 months that you have in savings for total expenses. Right? And so then you get there, and then, so you got some investment money, and then what you do is you go on a couple of vacations. Where would you go? How long would you stay? And see, if you're listening to what I'm saying, donations, absolutely. What would it feel like to give money? You know, I give money to the Starkey Foundation, you know, for children that get fitted with hearing aids, and they just treat me incredibly. And so you sit there and you think about those things, and I hope you agree with me. That imagination is all pleasure, joy, fulfillment, connection, community. So now, if you had X amount of satisfied, loyal customers, X amount of volume, X amount of people in your group, X amount of sales that would turn into that $10,000 a month, then guess what? Pleasure. There you go. So I hope each and every one of you really appreciate that. This one was on fear. Again, plug into the blog on lifemechanic.com. Put your name and your email address in there. You know, we got a lot of new things coming out. I got a really excitement announcement. I think I already leaked it today, but you know, an incredible lady here in Billings that I met on the internet. Lori Monson, she took the time to do an audio book for me. She took my book and put it on audio. So what we're doing is we're putting a bunch of things together. I'm going to actually, you know, put it together with a training. I'm going to go through and basically talk about the highlights of every one of the chapters and put a bonus training together with that. So, you know, it's going to be incredible along with the ebook. And so, Lori, thank you so much. What an incredible blessing and a gift. So I hope to see each one of you. Shirley told me what the next one's going to be. So Shirley from Australia, she said, you know what? A lot of people are out there saying phase one, phase one, phase one, phase one. And Shirley said today on the Ask Me Anything show that maybe it's about giving. You know what I mean? So phase one is the person that can build the most friends, get them the most relationships, give the most, be the biggest servant. It should be a different thought of phase one instead of closing. You know what I mean? Because people don't like closers. People don't like salespeople. People don't like to be abandoned. Based on the marketing channel that you're doing, whether it's network marketing or whatever. And it's just amazing. Again, I could go on and on about the incredible times that we live in. I don't know if you guys seen this. I posted it on my wall. Alibaba, which is the Chinese Amazon. Okay? So they have 1111 November 11th is International Singles Day. So they celebrate the people that are single in China. And so yesterday they broke 2 records. They did $1 billion in 8 minutes. $1 billion in 8 minutes. And a 24-hour period, they did $14 billion. So, yeah, there's a lot of money out there. So everybody's out there is like, wow, the economy's bad and everyone's in trouble and, we don't have any money. And then you got those people that are on the internet that can make $1 billion in 8 minutes. Wow. I want to try to break that record. You want to help me? So anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for getting on this scope. Share it with everyone you know and take care and God bless. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.